Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. With reference to the conservation status of Gangetic dolphin, consider the following statements. It is listed under the first schedule of Indian Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It is listed as critically endangered under the IUCN Red List. We have to select the correct statement. A is the correct answer. Recently, Union Jal Shakti Minister is learned to have expressed his displeasure over the slow pace of the approval process for Project Dolphin. The status of conservation of Gangetic dolphin is as follows. It is in the first schedule of the Indian Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. It is labelled as endangered by the IUCN. In Appendix 1 of CITES it is, and on CMS, Convention on Migratory Species. It is in Appendix 2. Consider the following statements regarding Manrega. The scheme is a demand-driven wage employment scheme. It functions under the Ministry of Labour and Employment. The states can make provision for providing additional days beyond the period guaranteed under the Act from their own funds. We have to select the correct statement. First and third are correct. C is the correct answer. Fake job cards, widespread corruption are among the issues hampering the Manrega scheme according to a parliamentary standing committee. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, it was passed in the year 2005 in order to augment employment generation and social security in India. The scheme is a demand-driven wage employment scheme which functions under the Ministry of Rural Development. Every adult member of a household in a rural area with a job card is eligible for a job under the scheme. The scheme envisages providing 100 days of guaranteed wage employment in a financial year to adult members volunteered for unskilled manual work. As per Section 3, Clause 4 of the Manrega, the states may make provisions for providing additional days beyond the period guaranteed under the Act from their own funds. One pension scheme is based on recommendation of which of the following committees? The correct answer is Koshyari Committee. Recently, the Supreme Court has upheld the government scheme for one rank, one pension. It means the payment of the same pension to military officers for the same rank for the same length of service, irrespective of the date of retirement. Before Oro, ex-servicemen used to get pension as per pay commission's recommendation of the time when they had retired. Armed Forces personnel who had retired till 30th June 2014 are covered under it. The implementation of the scheme was based on recommendation of the Koshyari Committee, which was a 10-member odd party parliamentary panel formed under the chairmanship of Bhagat Singh Koshyari. Consider the following statements regarding e-visa. The Ministry of Home Affairs is the nodal ministry that issues visas to foreigners. E-visas are not valid for foreign diplomats, which are dealt separately. We have to select the not correct statement. D is the correct answer. The government recently restored all currently valid 5-year e-tourist visas to 156 countries and regular paper visas to national of all countries with immediate effect. The visa system is an innovation introduced by the government in 2014. It was expanded in 2017 to 18. An e-visa, also called electronic visa, is provided in 5 categories: tourism, business, conference, medical and medical attendant. Entry through e-visas is allowed only at 28 designated international airports and 5 major seaports in India. The Ministry of Home Affairs is the nodal ministry that issues visas to foreigners, and e-visas are not valid for foreign diplomats, which are dealt with separately. Moving on, consider the following statements. The International Court of Justice was established by the United Nations Charter. The official language of ICJ is English only. Opinions provided by the court in all proceedings are essentially binding. We have to select the correct statement. So, first statement is correct, third is not correct. A is the correct answer. The International Court of Justice has asked Russia to immediately halt its military operations in Ukraine in a 13-2 decision. An Indian judge at the UN court voted in favor of the majority against Russia. ICJ was established in 1945 by the UN Charter and started working in April 1946. It is the principal judicial organ of the United Nations, which is situated at the Peace Palace in The Hague. It settles legal disputes between states and gives advisory opinions in accordance with international law on legal questions referred to it by authorized UN organs and specialized agencies. It has 193 state parties. Official languages are English and French. The rulings of the ICJ are binding, but there have been cases where countries have ignored them, as ICJ has no direct means of enforcing its orders. However, opinions provided by the court in advisory proceedings are essentially advisory and not binding. Consider the following statements regarding intellectual property rights. These rights are outlined in Article 27 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and India is not committed to the Agreement on Trade-related aspects of intellectual property. Only the second statement is not correct. B is the correct answer. The European Union has proposed relaxation of intellectual property rights held by the international pharmaceutical companies on COVID-19 vaccines for up to 5 years. IPR are the rights given to persons over the creation of their minds, inventions, literary and artistic works. They usually give the creator an exclusive right over the use of his or her creation for a certain period of time. These rights are outlined in Article 27 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. India is a member of the WTO and committed to the TRIPS agreement. Consider the following statements with respect to river Brahmaputra. The Brahmaputra enters the plains of Bangladesh after turning south around the Khasi Hills. Its source is southeast of Lake Mapam. We have to select the correct statement. Second is correct. Congress MP from Assam Pradyut Bordoloi has sought the centre's urgent attention on the issue of riverbank erosion along the Brahmaputra, which is the major river of Central and South Asia. It flows some 2,900 kilometers from its source in the Himalayas to its confluence with the Ganges River or Ganga River, after which the mingled waters of the two rivers empty in the Bay of Bengal. The Brahmaputra source is Chimengdang Glacier, which covers the slope of the Himalayas about 100 kilometers south of Lake Mapam in southwestern Tibet. Brahmaputra enters the plains of Bangladesh after turning south around the Garo Hills below Dhupri in India. Consider the following statements with respect to the Poshan scheme. It is a flagship program to improve nutritional outcomes for children and pregnant women only. The National Nutrition Strategy released by Niti Aayog has provided the basis of the scheme. We have to select the not correct statement. A is the correct answer. A parliamentary committee termed as unacceptable the trend of gross underutilization of funds to run the PM Poshan scheme, the overarching scheme for Holistic Nutrition or Poshan Abhiyan or National Nutrition Mission, is Government of India's flagship program to improve nutritional outcomes for children, pregnant women and lactating mothers. It was launched on the occasion of International Women's Day in the year 2018 from Jhunjhunu in Rajasthan. The Poshan, Prime Minister's overarching scheme for Holistic Nutrition Abhiyan, directs the attention of the country towards the problem of malnutrition and also address it in a mission mode. The National Nutrition Strategy, it was released by Niti Aayog in September 2017, presented a micro-analysis of the problems persisting within this area and chalked out an in-depth strategy for course correction. Consider the following statements with respect to University Grants Commission. It is a statutory body. It was formally established in 1953. As we have to select the correct statement, only first is correct A is the correct answer. Holders of 4-year undergraduate degrees with a minimum CGPA of 7.5 will be eligible for admission in PhD programs according to the revised norms by the UGC, which was formally established only in November 1956. Also, it was established as a statutory body of the Government of India through an Act of the Parliament. It was established for the coordination, determination and maintenance of standards of university education in India. Asani, seen in the news, refers to which of the following? It is a cyclone. The year's first cyclone Asani is likely to form over the central Bay of Bengal on March 21st. It is unlikely to cross the Indian coast, but heavy rain and strong winds are expected over Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Indian Meteorological Department has said that. Consider the following statements with respect to Kerala's Silver Line project. The project will have trains of electric multiple unit type with preferably 9 cars and extendable to up to 12 cars each. The project will reduce greenhouse gas emission. We have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. C is the correct answer. The final sanction for the Kerala Silver Line project will depend upon the detailed techno-economic feasibility. This entails building a semi-high-speed railway corridor through the state which will link southern ends of the state capital of Thiruvananthapuram with its northern end of Kasaragod of Kerala. The line is proposed to be 529.45 km long, covering 11 districts through 11 stations. The project will have trains of electric multiple unit type with preferably 9 cars and extendable up to 12 cars each. The government claims the railway line will reduce greenhouse gas emissions, help in expansion of RoRo service, produce employment opportunities, integrate airports and IT corridors and faster development of cities it passes through. For the practice question, look at this. Consider the following statements. It is the only carnivore that has been eliminated from India due to overhunting. Asiatic cheetah is listed as endangered in the IUCN Red List. We have to select the correct statement. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay updated.